Hello, my name is Reine DuBois and I'm an integrative naturopath and have been practicing for 26 years. I'm a generalist practitioner and I work across many chronic health conditions. Over time, I've come to understand that mental health sits at the base of all complex chronic health illnesses. Ensuring that my patients have a strong foundational knowledge of food and nutrition is central to recovery in my practice. My work focuses on showing how what we eat can powerfully influence our mood, our resilience, and our ability to heal. So, the first thing that I'd like to touch on is how what we eat affects our mood and mental health. So, if we start with energy balance, stable blood sugars from whole foods help to maintain steady mood and focus. If you have blood sugars that are spiking and then dipping, you're more likely to have crashes. And this creates this irritability feeling. Sometimes we relate to it as hangry, but you'll notice when you're hangry, your mood is very unstable. So, keeping those blood sugars stable, my number one hack is to make sure you eat protein on waking. 30 minutes within waking can really stabilize the blood sugars throughout the day. But a croissant or a muffin and a coffee is going to set you up for blood sugar spikes all through the day. Brain chemistry. It's the nutrients such as amino acids and the B group vitamins are essential for neurotransmitter production. And you probably have heard of the neurotransmitters serotonin and dopamine, and these regulate mood. They regulate satiety, they regulate appetite, they regulate how we feel in the world and how engaged we are and how excited and alert we become with interactions in the world. Then there's the gut-brain axis. And research knows now, and we've got a lot of information about the microbiome, that the more diverse the microbiome is, the better the regulation of the hormones and the nervous system. So, a healthy gut environment supports this beautiful emotional stability and helps us deal with our stress responses. It's been long known that the condition IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, is directly connected with levels of anxiety and depression. IBS usually comes when you're eating an inflammatory diet. And so inflammation is driven by processed foods, by takeaway foods, by those trans fats that you get in crisps and all the deep fried takeaway foods. A lot of the processed foods in the supermarket are all full of trans fats. They taste delicious, but they drive inflammation. And inflammation, we know, drives high levels of depression and anxiety. So, some of the common myths and misconceptions around food and nutrition. The first one is sugar gives you energy. And yes, sure, it might give you energy. It'll give you a quick spike, but it'll always lead to a crash. And if you're experiencing things like depression, a crash can feel quite low. The best way to really help with those sugar cravings is stay hydrated. And my number one tip, as I said before, is make sure you have a protein breakfast. Eggs on toast, some avocado with some goat's feta. The protein breakfast, ideally within 30 minutes on waking, helps to stabilize the blood sugars for the day, helps to stabilize the insulin requirements, helps to stabilize weight and mood throughout the day. So it's my one little hack. Sugar does give you energy, but it's not sustained. The next myth is supplements can replace a healthy diet. This is also incorrect because the gut needs a healthy, nutritious diet with a variety of whole foods to have the microbiome in place that can utilize the supplements when you take them. So supplements are secondary, and that's why we call it supplementary. They're to supplement after you have consumed a healthy diet. So healthy diet is foundational. The next myth is carbs are bad for your brain. Actually, your brain is your brain's main fuel is glucose. It's all about the quality of the carbs. So if you're eating whole food carbs like oats and quinoa and rice, brown rice in particular, Potatoes, these are wonderful carbs that will feed and nourish your brain and give you energy to think and focus and engage and feel happy and be able to sleep and sleep deeply. Bad carbs like cakes, biscuits, chips, muffins, chocolate, these carbs are bad for the brain. So it really depends on the sort of carb, but the brain does actually need carbs to fuel it. And the last myth, what you eat doesn't affect your mental health. So there's much evidence now that shows diet is one of the strongest lifestyle factors linked to depression and anxiety. If a lovely experiment that was done, I think it was called the Sugar Movie, where he only ate McDonald's for a period of time, and then he gauged his mood throughout the documentary. And it was one of the most eye-opening studies that food, if you're feeling bad and you go and have a McDonald's, you're going to feel worse afterwards. There is no silver lining, no, I deserve this, I will make myself better by eating some takeaway food. You will feel worse afterwards. It's well documented. And so it's a common myth among my young patients that what they're eating isn't affecting their mental health, but it's the first place that I start. So, nutrients and foods that help to improve anxiety and improve mood. The main ones that have been studied and I've seen to work really well in clinic are omega-3 fats. So much evidence and research around this found in fish, salmon, and the skin is actually the highest. Walnuts, chia seeds, and what they do is they enhance the brain's cellular communication. They protect against inflammation and they improve emotional regulation. Magnesium we haven't touched on yet. It's abundant in green leafies. It's abundant in nuts and seeds, but also dark chocolate. Not Cadbury's chocolate, dark chocolate. And if it's raw, even better. And this is a beautiful calming mineral which helps with anxiety, but it also supports for better sleep. And the B vitamins, all in the whole grains, legumes, and eggs, provide the essential cofactors for neurotransmitter synthesis. These are really important. The amino acids help with the neurotransmitters, and then the B vitamins, the cofactors to activate them. Helps with energy metabolism, mental health clarity, and resilience. Protein, which I've talked on a lot, mostly found in lean meats, legumes, eggs. Your cheeses are another fantastic source of protein, and they help to build the serotonin and dopamine levels as well. And then the last one, fermented foods, commonly found in yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, nourish the gut microbiome. And as we know, this strengthens that brain-gut axis, helping with calmer, more stable mood. So, 4 simple changes that everybody can make to start today if you want to see an improvement in your mental health and cognitive function. Number 1, eat whole foods, eat real food. Takeaway should be once a week, if that, maybe twice a week. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can shop at the farmer's market. It's about having produce around, fruit, vegetables, and whole grains, having some interesting recipes, maybe planning a weekly menu so you know what you need to get and what you're going to cook for the week. But it does take a bit more preparation time and gathering time. But once the food's there, it is really a much more affordable way. Add colour to your plate. So we eat a very beige diet in the West, and the more colour you can get on the plate, the more diversity you'll find in your microbiome. So berries, greens, fruit of all different colours, vegetables of all different colours. The more colourful you can make your plate, the more diverse your microbiome will be. Balance your meals. So instead of having a big bowl of pasta, make sure that you can have a little bit of pasta, make sure it's good quality, and you've got some really nice meats in there and some nice vegetables. Really balance the meal out. And then the last one, but not to be underestimated, is hydrate well. And quite often, we need between 1 and 2 litres of water a day in winter. In summer, a little bit more, 3 litres. And if you're exercising, maybe 4 litres. And quite often, we're very dehydrated, and that can make us feel quite contracted and unable to think. And we'll think we need a sugary drink, but actually, we just need a big glass of water. We can often feel hungry when we're thirsty. So if you know you've eaten a meal and you're still feeling hungry, try having a big drink of water. Hydration is always best before a meal so that it doesn't dilute the gastric acids after a meal. But just make sure it's just H2O, no flavors, just water, no teas, just H2O. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for inviting me to share this information, and thank you.